Life Reimagined Show. I am downtown Greenville. I'm just sitting. This is generally a waterfall fountain, not a fall. I love waterfalls and I love water fountains too, by the way. But this is generally a water fountain. Um, is out of season, so it's not on right now. But I still just wanted to sit right here. And while I'm here, I wanted to share something with you guys. If you're not from Greenville, you don't get to enjoy this, but I'm gonna step out just so you can see this beautiful artwork. I don't know who the artist is who did this. It's on one of our buildings, but it's just absolutely amazing. And so today, I just wanted to sit out here and talk to you guys because I haven't necessarily been doing just sitting and talking with you guys. You've seen some episodes with me shopping. You've seen some episodes with me doing hair. But I just wanted to talk to you guys, catch you up, because what the Life Reimagined Show is more than me just documenting my life. I am documenting, but I'm trying to be mindful of things that I experience, that we all experience, and a lot of people just don't talk about them. So one of the things that I want to talk about today, and I'm actually going to be doing a workshop on it soon, is called, not is called, but I want to talk about rest and why it's so important. So if you've been following me, the last 3 months has just been a whirlwind. I have been across the country and back. I don't know if that's 3 months, but we'll say last 6 months. I've been across the country and back. I have been to the beach multiple times because I just needed, what I was seeking was rest. I didn't really realize it at the time, but that's what I was seeking, just some peace and some rest. I have been, I'm just rolling my eyes because it's just been so much. I was talking to someone yesterday. What's up, Miss Sherelle, aka my stepsister. We were talking just about how life be lifing, and sometimes life is just lifing, and that's what it's felt like. It's felt like no matter how hard I tried, no matter how hard I ran, I just could not get it all done, couldn't get it all together. If you look at past episodes, I've left a job. Um, I was looking through pictures, and I'm cutting myself off because I was looking through pictures, and over the last 6 months, and I just started to cry. I started to cry because I was just like, I think I did more in the last 6 months than I've done in previous years, as I've done in a couple years. It was just so difficult, so hard. And my question to you guys is, have you ever been in one of those seasons? Do I live in Australia? No, I live in I live in the U.S. in South Carolina. I live in a very beautiful city. When I was growing up, I thought to myself, I want to get as far away from here as possible and never return. After after an incident, I left. I left to go to college, and then I came back. Hello. Well, I like it in Australia. I bet Australia is beautiful. Never been there, and maybe one day I'll make it there. The name of my business is International Life Consulting, so maybe I will get to travel the world one day and see all these amazing places. So yes, but Greenville is a very amazing city. That's not necessarily why I jumped on today, but while we're on, I'll just share a little bit. But we literally have a waterfall right in the middle of our downtown. I'm probably about 5 minutes away from that. But I'm just sitting downtown right now just because I think this is a beautiful location and I never really get to come here. So I like to be outside. I'm not really an outdoorsy type of person, but I just love water, love waterfalls. I love the beach. I love lakes. I love ponds. I love anything water related. So, but I came out here because I wanted to talk about rest. So I have been just going. And it's interesting because my body shut down. So my husband was in the hospital for about 15 days, and that took a really big toll on me. During that time, I had been running back and forth as it was. and I had laryngitis. And I don't know what it was. It could have been COVID, it could have been flu, I don't know. But I thought, okay, that's behind me. I'm okay now. And shortly thereafter, I actually came down with the flu. And the reason I'm sharing all this is because sometimes those are like symptoms, like warning signs that, hey, I need to slow down. And I was still trying to go. And so I wanted to share some universal truths, or a universal truth. There are probably many, many universal truths, but nature itself rests. Have you thought about that? Nature rests. Look at the trees behind me. I don't know if you want to consider that rest or not, but even the trees shed and take off some weight and just kind of rest. So the earth lies, let me see, seasons rotate between growth and dormancy. Nature never apologizes for rest, and it never rushes it. I know I've said I'm sorry so many times, or I can't do this, or I tried to do something and my body was just like, I just cannot. I was thinking about all this yesterday as I was looking through pictures and I was trying to figure out why did this happen or why did that happen. I started to notice that I wasn't able to complete everything that I wanted to complete. And it wasn't because I was lazy, but that's one of the things that we tell ourselves. It wasn't because I wasn't competent. It was simply because I had too much on my plate, too much on my plate. So the human body demands that we rest. How many of y'all know that? All of us know that, right? I don't sleep as much as the average person, but even with that, I can tell when I don't get adequate amount of sleep. Um, did you know that muscles rebuild only during rest? I didn't know that. So one of the things I've been doing lately is I've been researching different things. So like one of the things I'm researching in this season is hair, because Elena, my 9-year-old daughter, she has curly hair. Well, I don't have curly hair. Maybe if you consider 4C curly. Most people, some do, some don't. It can be. But that's not really here nor there. But my point is, I've just been researching things of interest because I want to be more intentional about my life. And that was one of the things I wanted to share with you guys today too, is I had the opportunity to watch a 103-year-old woman yesterday and listen to her story. And the one thing that she said that she wished she had known earlier, and she actually said she knew earlier. She knew earlier, and despite knowing, she still took life for granted. And that's the reason I'm having this conversation today, because when I go through my life and I look at all the loss, as young as 13, I lost my brother. In my 20s, I lost my nephew. By my 30s, I had lost my daughter. By my 40s, I had lost my dad. And so I've experienced a lot of loss. And I was talking to talking to Elena. Naomi was my daughter I lost. I was talking to my 9-year-old Elena. And I was just telling her about some other losses I had. And it's interesting, you would think to yourself, and we always tell ourselves that when we lose someone, that, hey, I'm going to pay more attention. I'm going to take more time. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to pause. I'm going to rest. And then a day or two later, what do? We're back up. We're back running. And I'm not just talking about you. I'm telling you guys, I am guilty of this. I'm guilty of it. And so I'm just talking about it because I want you guys to think and reflect. And I want you to know that you're not alone. It's not only you. Most of us do it, particularly if you're parents. It's so hard to get lost. It's so hard to forget what your purpose is. And that's what the Life Reimagined Show is actually all about. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate them. But that's what life is all about. It's just being intentional, remembering your purpose. Remember, there is a reason that you are on this earth. And so you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself so that you are able to fulfill that purpose. One of the things for me is, in this last season, there was so many things that I wanted to accomplish. And so I would go to sleep. I would wake up early, go to sleep late, and I was doing all these things. And like I told you guys, I kept getting sick. And then I feel like I'm laughing because anybody who truly knows me knows I'm a little hard-headed and stubborn. But I feel like I figured it out this time. And what I mean by that is I need to slow down. I want to be intentional about my life, and I want to make sure that I don't have regrets when I'm 103 years old. So how long have you been streaming for? So I had a women's podcast called When Women in Business. I did that about 2 years. And I used to interview people. But when I look back over my life, even as a child, and I look at my family, we have always had a camera. Somebody was taking pictures, somebody was documenting, and I feel like that's more what I do. That I love to promote other people. I like to highlight and share what's going on, not just in my life, but in other people's lives. So I've been doing this channel. I started this channel, I think, the week that I left my job this past year, which was July 2025. I left so not this year, last year, which was right around the corner. But I'm really just trying to make sure that even if it's one person, that they understand they're not alone. So the backstory, I shared that I lost my 7-year-old daughter, Naomi Love, but I went through clinical depression. I already had a master's degree. I was supervising almost a couple hundred people, and life appeared great. But one thing about it is when you lose something, particularly a child or a job or a relationship, it really doesn't matter what you lose. And that's what I talk about a lot is trauma. Because one thing about trauma is you're either going to heal from it or you're going to keep on carrying it. And so what I'm learning in this season is to just be honest with myself. I've been able to make progress in my life. One of the ways is through rest, and the other way is through truth. And so me just being honest with myself and starting to identify the things that bother me, identify the things I need to work on. One of the things that I've noticed with a lot of people, me included, is sometimes it's difficult to actually acknowledge our weaknesses. So if you're hearing a lot of traffic, I am right here literally just sitting in the middle, and so I got traffic coming on both sides of me. So not the best place in the world to record, but I'm living in the moment. I was downtown, beautiful scenery, beautiful background. I showed you guys the building behind me. So yeah, so is it the afternoon? It is, yeah, I guess it's afternoon. It's about 5:08. It'll probably get dark in the next 20 or 30 minutes. That's why I wanted to go ahead and jump on, because I realized that if I didn't, it would probably be too dark to do it a little later. So one of the things that I've learned in my recent research about rest is that the brain is actually able to recall memories during sleep. So when we are not resting, we're not giving our bodies the opportunity to kind of heal and to remember and to recall. I remember for years, my memory was, I'm just going to say shot for lack of a better words. But the reason it was so shot is because I had suppressed so many memories. I wasn't resting. I wasn't taking care of myself. And so I was really, really struggling. I remember just to be able to do what I'm doing now, to be able to just speak freely, I could not do this. I couldn't do it. So rest is very important. Emotional regulations depend on our nervous system recovering. So that's another reason that rest is so important. Without rest, the body does not push through, it breaks down. And that's what I was telling you guys about earlier when I was talking about I ended up with the flu, I ended up with COVID. I don't know what it was. It was something, but I was in the bed, and I remember one day I know it was a holiday, because I was so grateful it was a holiday, because I was like, I had so much to do, and luckily everything was closed down. So yeah. So make sure that you are resting. Make sure that you are taking time for yourself. I see I'm having, oh, I'm leaving. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I think it says Pookie. Thank you so much, Pookie, for joining me. Um, Please come back, subscribe. Please come back and join me. Sometimes I'm just sitting and reflecting and talking. Other times I'm out shopping. Sometimes I'm with my kids and my family. So you never know where you're going to find me tomorrow. I'll be in a meeting. I have is that my first? My second Wings Inspire meeting. So yeah, come back and join us. And look forward to, thank you so much for all your comments too. So productivity without rest leads to depletion, not progress. So that's the other thing I want to talk about, is just progress. How many times have you just been doing for the sake of doing? And that's the question I want you to ask yourself. Are you just doing things because people expect you to do them? Are you doing things because you want to look like you're doing something? Or are you doing things because you actually have a goal and you are making progress? And that's what I encourage people to do. I don't know how many of you have ever done SMART goals. My background is HR, so what a SMART goal is when you are intentional about your plan. You're not just saying, I am going to start a podcast in a year. You're going to actually be specific. You're going to measure it. You're going to see if it's attainable, if it's realistic, and it's going to be time sensitive. So those are all acronyms for what a SMART goal is. And so you just want to make sure that you're not just, you want to make sure that you are able to complete what you started. I have been one of those people. I've started a lot of things in life, and I don't want to just keep starting things. I want to actually be able to complete them. So, yep, something to take into consideration. Another thing about rest is fatigue distorts judgment. I was kind of talking about that a little bit earlier, and I myself kind of felt like I could not think clearly anymore because I was just moving. I had so much to do, so many things to accomplish. So don't overextend yourself because it really will erode your purpose. Right now, I'm in a season where I'm trying to build a lot of different things, reimagining my life, but I'm trying to be specific about them. I told you, you're back. Thank you, Pookie. So I was just sharing, Pookie, about goals and about how important that rest is, because when you don't, it's going to distort your judgment, and it's also going to erode your purpose. And the whole point of the Life Reimagined Show is actually trying to make sure that you're able to accomplish your goals and ultimately not just find a job, not just find a career, but actually find your purpose. So like, what is your purpose? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you were born to do? That's the part about it. You asked earlier, or someone asked earlier, about streaming and how long I've been doing it. And what was my response? I said, I've been doing streaming in some capacity my whole life. Before streaming was even a thing, I was doing it. I was my earliest example or story of it, and I've shared this on the channel before, is when I was a little girl. I don't know if y'all have Fraggle Rock in Australia, but it was this cute little cartoon, these little Muppet looking people, and they had their own little village. I think they were underground. So anyways, Fraggle Rock, I remember I used to love that show, and I was the oldest girl, and my mom was just like, I need you to go wash dishes, and she had asked several times. And so I finally went to wash the dishes, but my siblings and my mom and my stepdad, everybody were in there watching TV, watching Fraggle Rock, my favorite show. And so I was upset, and I started just pretending like I had my own little talk show. And I was talking about my family and how cruel they were and all these things. But I think, and the reason I mention that is because purpose is within us. It's not something that just out of nowhere you discover, unless you've just been hiding under a rock. But that purpose, that thing that you are purposed to do, is something that you're already doing. That's the thing about it. I love what I do, and one of the things that I do is I help people identify their skills and their confidence. They already have it. I just help them tap into it, recognize it, so that they can grow and have a successful life, and ultimately find that purpose and that goal. That is what I'm born to do. That's part of my purpose, and that's what I want to, and that's what I'm trying to align with. I was talking earlier, and I just hit on a very important point. I'm gonna show you guys all the traffic again, because I am right at 5 o'clock traffic, so that's why it's a little loud. So I got traffic coming up both sides. So rest is an act of wisdom, not weakness. In every civilization, our friend here's from Australia. I bet you, like I said earlier, rest is a universal truth. We all must do it. So even healers prescribe rest. Leaders who endure learn restraint. So rest is how intelligence protects longevity. Like I stated, I was going for so long that my body was just like, no ma'am, no ma'am. And so either we will do it intentionally, which is what I recommend. That's one of the only things that I recommend when it comes to healing, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist. I am just a mother who has had a lot of loss, a woman who's had a lot of loss, and gone through a lot of trauma. And in this season of my life, I want to be more intentional, because I don't ever want to go through depression again. I don't ever want to shut down again. I don't ever want to stop. I know that I have a purpose in my life, and I want you guys to think about something. So when we talk about purpose, think about, what if you decide that, hey, I'm just not going to do it. And I've been that person. I said, I'm not going to do it. Especially after I lost my daughter, I was like, I'll just sit on the back row. I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to. And to be honest, in this season, I've discovered I got a lot of gifts. I got a lot to give back to our society. But what if I or you decide, I'm not going to do it. I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I just don't want to do it. Well, what that looks like and what that means is somebody like me or somebody like you may not know that, hey, I can do this. They may not know that what they're capable of, because maybe you had to go through it so that you could tell the next person that, hey, it's possible. Because a lot of times people think it's not possible, and it's not that it's impossible. It's just that nobody else has probably done it before, or they hadn't shared it with anyone. Thank you so much for the heart, Spooky. So rest restores alignment. Alignment was my word for 2025, and I'm actually going to carry it into this season as well, into 2026, because there's no purpose without alignment. So I shared with you guys earlier about the truth and how the truth will set you free or make you free. But one of the things that I had to realize was, when I was telling myself what I could do, what I couldn't do, a lot of those things were just lies. They were lies. They were not the truth. And I'll share something with you guys. If you are telling a part of a quote unquote truth, guess what that is? It's a lie. It is a lie. So a lot of times we lie to ourselves. We don't know what we're capable of. One, because we never tried. I was talking to my youngest son the other day, and I cannot remember what it was. I can't remember the exact example, but I remember what I told him. And he was telling me there was something he couldn't do. And I looked at him and I said, guess what? I couldn't do it initially. And I like to use the example about riding a bike. How many of you have ever, or if you remember the first time you learned how to ride a bike? Hello. But if you've ever thought about it, I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 people fail the first time, right? So I don't know why, some kind of way, and that we think that if we fail, that we have failed. No, that just means you get back up, you get back on, you try again. We just don't have the experience. You've never rode a bike before because it was hard? Well, dang. Well, try it. Maybe get somebody to help hold you up. I think anything you do the first time is going to be hard. It could be something as simple as making a peanut butter jelly sandwich, because I'm just going to tell you that peanut butter does not always go on smoothly. So it's a little technique to that. Maybe it's warming up the peanut butter. I don't know what your technique is. Maybe it's using a butter knife instead of a spoon. I don't know. But instead you got a scooter. My kids, I just got my kids scooters for the holidays, and they absolutely love them. But I was thinking to myself, for those scooters, you don't get the exercise in with the scooter unless you count having to lift that thing. But yes, so that's just a few other things. I think I'm gonna share a couple more things, and then I'll have to join you guys back one day this week, and we'll continue our talk on rest. So we were talking about rest restores alignment, and alignment is going to help you determine what your purpose is. One of the reasons that we can become tired is when we try to do too many things, particularly things that are not in line with our purpose. Another thing that I have been guilty of is I have, in my pursuit to advocate for others or to help or support others, sometimes I will take on things that are not mine. And so I'm learning in this season that sometimes you just have to focus, remain focused, pause, stop, rest, and even reset. So making sure that we reconnect with our values, that we regain perspective. Rest doesn't slow purpose, it aligns it. So I think that's what the note that I'm going to leave on, is that rest will realign you. Rest will help to clarify your purpose because you will be able to think more clearly. Like we discussed earlier, sometimes when you are doing too much, you just can't think clearly. So thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate you guys. I'm really loving this season of my life where I'm getting to explore not just who I am, but I'm able to explore my skills, my abilities. I'm able to, I feel like it makes me more confident, more self-assured, and I'm starting to try things that I've never tried again. So my friend Pookie, go get you a bike. No, I can't tell you to go get no bike, but if you do get a bike, just know that everybody falls when they first start. So you won't be the first, you won't be the last, but if you keep on trying, you keep on practicing, and you know your limitations, I don't. But if you keep trying, hopefully you'll be successful and you will be able to ride a bike. But if not, hey, you already got a scooter. You a step ahead of everybody else. So thank you so much, Pookie. Thank you, anybody and everybody else who's out there watching. I greatly appreciate you. Until next time, this is Frederica Hutchinson of the Life Reimagined Show, where I am just in motion. This is transformation in motion. I am transforming one day at a time. Each day I'm taking a new courageous step, one more step that I hadn't taken the day before. And I'm not going to just see where I end up. I have plans, I have goals, and I'm just working towards those. So thanks again for joining me with the Life Reimagined Show. Until next time, bye. Bye, Pookie. Bye, everybody. Bye.